Do want to get up to that third position. We are going to get straight into it. Champ Select is up, and Sivir and Rumble already banned away on the side of Ime, as the Shen and Twisted Fate are removed on the side of LGD. We'll see whether the Malzahar or the Vladimir are going to get through. There's 2 more bans remaining. Both of those champions still sticking out like a sore thumb, and in fact, a lot of picks still up, as Braum's going to be the pick away. So see what LGD decide to take.
So Ime is doing their work. Taking away Rumble and Sivir, that's something LGD is known for. Their comfort picks have been coming through. We've been seeing a lot of Rumble, a lot of Gnar. And so the fact that they're getting these picks and just playing a lot better is pretty scary.
Most certainly is. Vladimir is going to be locked in first here for Ime, though, meaning that Void Magician, Mr. Malzahar, could possibly go over to LGD.
That's true.
We'll see whether that is going to... Of course, Marin, known for playing a heck of a lot of different champions towards the top side of the map. They could even decide to flex it up for Punished.
May not be that high priority with Shen and Ashe being taken away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pick and wombo in that sense. If once you had the Malzahar, that does not exist currently. Hecarim does, though. And so, Hecarim, yeah, you might see value in that Malzahar.
Well, this is really interesting, as the Ryze and the Hecarim have been locked away. We do know Marin can flex that Ryze towards the top side of the map, so may not have seen the last of a possible Malzahar pickup here. We are going to move back to Ime, who can do exactly the same thing. Amazing J has played a plethora of champions towards the top side of the map. We'll see what they are going to take away this second round of picks, or whether Malzahar is just going to go all the way through, despite how strong he is.
We haven't seen a Ryze pick, or at least high Ryze priority, in quite some time.
Yeah.
Some teams still value it. The early game is a bit of a trough, especially if you're picking it into the Vladimir, because you'll just get shoved in consistently in the early portion of the laning phase. And so you might just lose a little bit. LGD might just be opting for the pretty much scaling type. They'll scale for later on in the game, kind of cut their losses early. That could be the identity. Or, as you say, could just be Marin taking that to the top lane. Yeah,
well, of course, LGD's most received ban is, in fact, that Ryze. A whole 12% more than their second most received ban, which is that Vladimir, banned away most of the time. You are going to see them. And Imp instalocks Kog'Maw.
See, it's the comfort picks. You don't even have to question it. LGD is a meta of its own. I
actually really like it, though, because, of course, with a mid laner like Vladimir, Kog'Maw's not going to be all that threatened. Of course, he's probably going to flash on top of him, but Kog'Maw isn't going to get hard CC'd up by that big Bloodlord. Not too worried about that one. Jhin Alistar are going to probably take care of him, but not going to have any threat from the mid lane in the late game team fights. There's the Tahm Kench picked up for PYL.
Yeah, I'm not too convinced, because, of course, Vladimir has that constant push. Jhin has that early pressure. Alistar, of course, can always threaten you at some point.
Yeah.
And so, if you're picking Ryze, Hecarim, Tahm Kench, and Kog'Maw, you're pretty much saying, yeah, later on in the game, we'll have a lot of power. No doubt about it. But early on, we're kind of throwing our hands up in the air. So, it's a bit of a risk, but perhaps maybe they can play around it well.
Well, you can see Jin Jiao currently hovering the Malzahar. And the Voidless the Graves. Not a lot of big tank line. We'll be relying on Road for that one, but we said that Road needs to have Engage. Alistar is that in spades. And of course, Malzahar is going to be able to help out on that front as well. This is a really scary team comp from Ime, and plays into their hands beautifully. Graves is going to be locked in. Jin Jiao takes away the Malzahar, so LGD don't get that as the last pick, and we'll see what Marin or Punished are going to take for this final lock-in for LGD.
So this is a little interesting, because we still don't know who is the mid and who's the top. Is that Vlad top, or is that Mal's top? That would be incredibly interesting. It's a Vlad top. We have not seen a Vladimir top in a long time.
I think it was Zatai that played it last, actually.
Yeah, so of course you were just going to see the Gnar, and I feel like the compositions that we're seeing from both teams it's interesting to say the least. I'm not a fan of a Vladimir top, but I do like the idea of a Mel's top.
Yeah, well, they're not swapping it just yet. Have a few seconds if they would like to, but it looks like Amazing J is happy to take this one. Doesn't have the flash, which Malzahar does definitely like, so looks like Amazing J going to be taking the Bloodman up to the top side. We mentioned that he does have a very flexible playstyle. Does suit him to be able to get on something a little bit more unorthodox, much like Zatai. But I'm just looking down the line, and Ime's team composition as far as spiking is concerned,
Yeah.
they're going to spike like a full 15 minutes before LGD.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said that LGD has quite a strong level 6, but man, that IMA lineup, you don't want a team fight with them. You really don't. And as the game goes on, the Vladimir split push will be really effective. So this is going to be interesting. This is definitely IMA going back and playing to their style.
Well, we'll see whether it is going to work as the coaches shake hands. Let's get into it. Game number 1. It is going to be LGD versus IMA. Thank you very much, Marin, and here we are. Game number 1 between LGD and IMA. First Dragon's going to be a Cloud Drake, which probably helps LGD, to be honest, because they want to probably put a pause on for as long as possible, get themselves their items together, and try and face this terrifying IMA team composition.
Exactly. Seeing the Kog'Maw, a special between EDG and LGD. Both teams are seemingly the only teams that value that pick. But yeah, that's I like to think we haven't touched on the Tahm Kench support. Tahm Kench is coming back. Strong flex pick. They used it as a pretty good flex. You didn't know if he was going to be top lane or support. Really essential to keeping Kog'Maw alive. But early on in the game, Tahm Kench can get shoved in too. So
yeah,
that bottom lane seems like I'm not too sure if LGD wants it. But I'm pretty sure they do want their towers to be up as long as possible to keep this game going pretty much for the scale to be alive.
Well, LGD actually the only team in the LPL that lane swaps more than 50% of the time. Shout out to Kelsey Moser there for providing that statistic. And they are going to go for it right now. As you can see, Imp, the beautiful Monarch, Kog'Maw, Butterfly, and PYL wanting to eat him for dinner. They're going to start on the Krugs.
Yeah, so we got a lane swap. It does help out the laning phase for both teams. So they don't get punished on, geez.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Watch out.
But they don't get, yeah, I'm just going to go for it. They don't get punished for the poor early game.
Bamey gets punished by not being able to pick up all of this CS. His Malefic Visions falls down on the punished's face. Rise looking to continue to try and scale up. Of course, powerful late game champion in his own right, but he's not a Malzahar, who's pretty busted.
And going back, as we see PYL walk in, for quite some time we've been seeing a more aggressive invade to shove off teams from these camps. Right now we're just seeing they're only committing the supports, which is interesting that these teams didn't just like look to take the camps anyways. Yeah. Because a lot of teams have just been actually committing the AD carries along with that shove away from camps. So yeah, it's going to be a little slower on that. And I guess teams are starting to respect those invades.
One thing I do like about the Rise is the fact that Malzahar does like to shove the waves in. Rise, very, very good at exploding a minion wave if you can get into the right position with that passive available. So we'll be able to at least keep that wave off the turret relatively effectively as IMA do make this minion wave crash into the turret, utilizing that cannon creep. And we'll see whether they can take this one down in a timely fashion. Much like LGD doing the same thing towards the other side of the map. Imp going to get eaten by PYL.
Definitely not what he wanted to do.
I just think it's adorable.
But last time we saw Jin in a lane swap, it costed a team a lot of tempo. Yeah. He can't really shove as well. So they have to watch out for that, especially up against Kog'Maw, who his W actually increases attack speed to quite something absurd. So yeah, the early swap should be in Kog'Maw's favor, or at least specifically LGD's.
Well, Amazing J is going to be able to easily bounce this minion wave. He now has some time with the creeps, but a little bit behind are IMA. Jin heading back pretty quickly, and we'll see that swap back come in. Both of the outer turrets on the side lanes are going to fall. He's punished, holds onto his wave for quite some time. Probably wants to go back roundabout now, pick up that tier, get himself scaling.
Something I don't like about Vladimir top is, as we see, if you put it in a lane swap, he loses a lot because he does need the items to pretty much scale up. And on top of that, he's fairly vulnerable in a long lane. So that's why we saw a lot of Vlad mid. But if you put him in a longer lane, sure, it's already kind of risky if he's in a standard laning phase, if he gets ganked. But put him in a long lane, in a lane swap, and it's going to be really scary for him. So that's going to be something to watch for, how Amy and Marin react, because those two have been working well with each other recently.
Yeah, I think so too. And also the fact that Vlad is valued a lot for his ability to lane at the same time. A Voidless is going to come over. Rune Prison's going to be there for Punish. But look at that damage lockdown. Punish flashes, takes a tower shot, does a Voidless, but good summoner spell gained and means that Punished has to go back. Teleport coming in here on the bottom side of the map as Marin is going to join his bottom lane. PWL once again eating Imp, as he likes to do. This wave going to get started on. Another minion wave going to be crashing in relatively soon. We'll see whether LGD can get this one in a timely manner.
Yeah, so early TP expended from both teams. That just nullifies it, so it works out for both of them. Once they look to match, that's going to be interesting to see how amazing Jay is going to be able to keep up. As I said, it's going to be really interesting to see how Amy and Marin play with each other, with one another, because they both players. I loved Amy's pretty much progression throughout the split.
Yeah,
he's a player that at first so much criticism has come onto him, and he's grown significantly. So especially since he's been kind of benched at one point.
Yeah,
for Intruder. So there is a lot of pressure on him to perform.
Yeah, now I guess with that player sort of waiting to potentially come in, could mean that Amy does have that extra motivation to try and become better, because he certainly has done so, like you just stated. Towers fall both sides of the map, and LGD utilized the tempo advantage for being on the bottom side to take themselves that Cloud Drake. Next Dragon, also going to be a Cloud Drake. We're going to be moving super fast around the map, Raz.
All right, this is the super fast game.
I like it.
It works well, at least they have Hecarim. He's going to be a little happier if he ever looks to engage.
Hey, damage buff for his first spell or auto attack.
That's true.
Pretty powerful stuff.
Got to look on the bright side.
That is like an extra 3 AD, something like that.
Yesterday we had a game where we definitely wanted to see the Cloud Drakes.
Well, in goes Road. There's the Flash Pulverize, gets the headbutt back as well as the Nether Grasp's going to come in, and Amy says, well, not going to be able to help you too much there, Punished.
That's why you put Road on an engaged champion. Really good luck from him. They punished the fact that I need to stop making that pun, but
yep.
They knew he didn't have Flash. The early gank coming from a Voidless, excellently played, and so that's just textbook. Head back to the lane that doesn't have the Flash, and pretty much, yeah, just kill him.
Yeah, but is this sort of LGD not having the right vision around there as well? Punish being a little bit too far up, because they knew that Aime had just taken that outer turret top lane. They were looking for something to do. Often ganking the mid lane is the answer. Just looked a little bit easy.
Yeah, but there's nothing they could really do. They got themselves in a lane swap, frees up the supports quite a bit. Yeah, you can get the wards down, but at the very most, you have to commit to the skirmish, because Alistair just being there, at the very least, that's going to push Punished away from the wave. So, yeah, sure, he shouldn't have been able to get, they should have recognized that. Maybe he shouldn't have died off of it, but it's just a bad situation through and through.
Well, Road chucks some vision down. You can see this inner turret has been shoved all the way up to by Aime. Marin looking to clear things up. Looks like the Frozen Mallet will be coming in first for the Nar Genius himself, and LGD not on the board just yet. They are keeping up. Only 1,000 gold in the lead is Aime. We feel like they should be getting early leads. They're a team that does do it very well. Punished is going to face check Road. Does find the Rune Prison though, as you can see. Gets a bit of a combo. POL takes an end of the line to the head. And Voidless just gets licked for his troubles.
Yeah, but Aime, as you just see, they're controlling both sides of Punished's lane.
Yeah.
Top side red, bottom side blue. At this point, Punished has to feel threatened that at any point he can just get dived. once you have, like, Malzahar makes pretty much anything easy come. Like, so if there's ever a point that IMA's ever comfortable, they have enough vision that they just can look to dive with Alistair, Malzahar ulti.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little bit scary. So, of course, PYL has to be a little bit more towards Punished side of the lane rather than helping out his dual laner, because that's just, at this point, they're the biggest weakness.
Imp has actually gone for a rushed Wit's End.
Ah, there you go. Which
is very cute. Of course, does have a little bit of an easier, I guess, build path, but he got it straight from the recurve bow as Marin goes aggressive. Doesn't find the boomerang. Oh, gets it on the return. As you can see, LGD trying to follow this one up. There's the flash from PYL. Gets the lick onto Road. Will be eaten after one more auto attack as PYL's looking for it. The slow comes in, noms him up, and PYL is just going to digest the cow.
Really good look. That was a bit risky because they took Gnar away from the top side wave. He's probably going to come to it a little late. Who knows? But they knew they had a very small time frame to make that play. They did it, and they got the Alistair kill for it. So that's really smart.
There's the ultimate. Curtain call comes in. Jin Zhao.
Yeah.
Just looking to clear out the wave.
Have to force them away from that play. That was a massive wave coming onto that tower. So the Wit's End is interesting.
I love it.
I'm a fan of it because, of course, you're going up against Malzahar, Vladimir. Both champions, of course, dealing quite a bit of damage, a lot of threat towards Kog'Maw. So I also just want to see him build a QSS because at this point...
Oh, he will, yeah.
Yeah, he kind of needs to at this point.
But I like having double, I guess, defensive flavored items that are still going to help his late game damage as well. So
yeah,
definitely good news. And the more attack speed that you have on Kog'Maw, the better you're going to be feeling. It's Bamey as his pets following him around. Punish going to make his way back over from the blue buff. Didn't actually pick it up. Just trying to get some vision down. And LGD a little bit more focus in the middle of the map.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of pressure here, especially towards the top side where the Rift Herald is, because Jin Zhao is clearing up that massive wave towards the bot side. They have a pretty big advantage in terms of skirmish, so they should utilize it. Maybe even get that Rift Herald for Gnar.
Well, Punish, you can see, utilized the passive to get rid of all of the dang little voidlings. So frustrating.
Yeah,
gets through them.
Malzahar is an incredibly frustrating champion, and we talk about Vladimir. We're seeing two of the most frustrating champions.
Big Gnar into the wall. Misses the wallop, but in goes Amy. Pool comes down. Hemo Plague going to go off, but not going to do too much damage. And Amazing J does have to back off. No Ghost available. IMA now just poking their heads around. PYL in here. Just staving off the aggression. And LGD, this is exactly what you were talking about as we were coming into this set. It's the fact that everyone is collapsing at the same time. You saw that engage. It was only 2 members of LGD, mostly just Marin, to be perfectly honest. But as soon as that happened, everyone collapses.
Yeah, the collapse is really strong. They commit to just about every play that they're making. They knew that Jin Zhao had to clear out that wave, and so for it, IMA had to trade out so much pressure, so much vision. The threat of taking the Rift Herald is quite high. Of course, at 12 minutes into the game, you don't want to do that. That's too much of a risk, but they were able to just pretty much take so much away from IMA.
Yeah. It's a good look. LGD, only about 500 gold behind. Not too worried. Frozen Mallet's done for Marin. So, Vladimir in a long lane. Going to have to be very careful as PYL gets engaged on. There's the headbutt. Pulverize gets caught up as well as the Grey Health has to be popped. Punished. Finds his way in, but the Nether Grasp is going to lock down the kill. Jin Zhao trying to find the ultimate bullets. Hits one onto Punished, and LGD actually coming around to the side. Amy and Imp doing some work. As there's another headbutt Pulv. Amy caught out. Will have the Onslaught of Shadows, but not going to be able to use it. And IMA will transition right into this Dragon. Really good skirmish.
3 kills and 3 assists, of course. All given to Alistair. Alistair Road has been playing incredibly well. Off of every engage or every pick that he has created for his team has resulted into a kill. So that's pretty much the value of this Alistair. We've been seeing a big resurgence of the pick right now, and that's it's really well done. It's perfect for Road.
Yeah, Road needs to be on that engage. And is so far demonstrating exactly why. LGD probably just shouldn't have been around there as Marin looks for the Gnar, gets Road. The pick out is real right now as he's only level 5, can't use that Unbreakable Will, and Punished is going to grab himself the kill. So nicely done. LGD always seem to have an answer, even after a disastrous fight like the one prior.
Yeah, if you're telling me that they're the second last in their group, I wouldn't believe you with the play that they're showing right now. This is really great from them. Of course, they're getting picked out a little bit of mistakes here, but that...
We have to remember as well that it does feel like LGD are playing on hard mode based on the team compositions that we're having a look at. I mean, Jin, with Sivir and Ashe banned, is like top tier 80 carry. Malzahar needs no introduction. That guy's busted. Vladimir, we've been talking about that guy for a very long time. In the top lane, maybe a little bit different, but still really, really strong. This team composition, plus Road being on his perfect engage, is perfectly molded to Aimee.
That may be true, but as the game goes on, you have a lot of mixed damage coming from LGD and a lot of like a pretty strong tank line. So if it gets to a point where the items come through and they're scaling just as well, they're keeping in the game, that right now Malzahar and Vladimir probably won't be as impactful as they would want to be. It's pretty heavily in favor of AP in that sense. Of course, you have the Graves and the Jhin, but I just think that late game Kog'Maw, mid game Kog'Maw even,
yeah, 2-item Power Spike is going to be really strong with the Blade of the Ruined King and that Wit's End. Still utterly loving the Wit's End. It's been a personal favorite item of mine for a very long time. Everyone gets very frustrated when I suggest that people should buy it.
Yeah,
they get the inside track here on this turret. Abyssal Voyage, going to get PYL in there. Didn't bring any friends with him, but Amy's going to turn up in the nick of time. Imp's making his way through. Gets pinged out, actually, but probably not going to get collapsed on as PYL was there. Good vision from Aimee, though, as you can see. Aggressively placed towards the top side. You can see everything that's happening.
If there's ever a time to practice your vision control, it's this game. They have the early game advantage. A lot of shove into the Rise, so they can pretty much do what they want. LGD really needs to keep this mid tower up, because if they ever lose that tower, that can just get snowballed against them.
A lot of control then for Aimee. Amazing J moving himself up top. Him and Avoidless actually spent a lot of time there in that jungle as Dash Cannon comes in. There's the Hemo Plague as they're looking to try and go in on Marin, but Marin just says, all right, go for it, buddy. I got a Spectre Scale. I don't really care. Mega Gnar is going to come in. Avoidless traipses his way back to the mid lane.
So yeah, this has been a pretty slow game. I think that it favors
LGD, probably,
LGD,
right?
But at the same time, it depends. Aimee does have a good amount of pick in their comp. So right now, with Kog'Maw itemizing towards his next damage item, it may take a while for him to get that QSS, or even for Tahm Kench to kind of help him out on that end.
Yeah, that's the thing, is PYL needs to be with Imp just to avoid that Nethergrass being a problem. Remember as well the fact that PYL picked up that Tahm Kench before Malzahar was even locked in on the side of Aimee.
Yeah, and one of the larger benefits of a Tahm Kench, is the fact that he can pretty much, like, he nullifies a Malzahar ulti fairly well if he's there.
Yeah.
Swallow up Kog'Maw if he ever gets zeroed in. So that just comes down to teamfight execution. That comes down to LGD recognizing how they play these fights, and here it go.
Yeah, Abyssal Voyage is going to bring Punished in there towards the bottom side of the map. Vision comes in. Jin Zhao and Road going to be running away. Level 7 for the cow, so it can tank up a lot of damage. So just expend the ultimate.
You know,
don't get anything for it, but do push Aimee away from this lane.
That was New Rise. There would be no escape. There would be no escape. Tahm Kench, New Rise, just have the double teleports.
That's ridiculous. The range. Out of control. Of course, remember, an extra 500 units of range on that Abyssal Voyage for PYL. So it feels like he's a little bit more maneuverable around the map. That's at every rank.
So right now, like what LGD is doing, they're sending their bottom lane here. They have a good push, a good shove in the lane for bot. Punish needs to watch out, because if he gets picked out before the dragon comes in 55 seconds, it could be bad for them.
You can see Bami actually cheating towards the bottom side. Notice the fact that PYL was there, but still Aimee with phenomenal vision, taking control, not getting surprised by LGD. LGD not worrying too much as Malefic Visions is going to take a bunch of it, but you can see with that QSS built up, extra magic resist, and with the extra health from the Rod of Ages, is feeling very good on this rise, despite being 20 CS behind. And there it is. Imp has actually gone for the Renan's Hurricane second item. I feel like Kog'Maw probably doing more magic damage than physical with his auto attacks at this point in the game.
Probably. Yeah, as I said, a lot of mixed damage on this team to watch out for. Meanwhile, Spectre's Cowl coming on to Gnar, he's going to be a force to reckon with because you can't really do as much damage towards him. So he's going to be able to just go into the back line once that fight starts.
Yeah. Well, Jin Zhao going to start off in this Brambleback, and LGD has started thwacking on this dragon. You can see Imp. Those little crits, it's not recognizing the amount of magic damage done as Voidless just dashes in, picks up the dragon, dashes out. No worries at all. Does expend his flash and his ultimate, but good pickup. A lot to use for taking away a Cloud Drake. A little bit more movement speed, it's a good idea.
Yeah, this game would definitely be a little bit more explosive with some Infernals. But you know what? That was really good. But with that being said, LGD has definitely taken note of the fact that Graves does not have flash because he had to use that to get out of that pit. So flashless Graves could be the next mark. It would be a great advantage for LGD, but...
Amy going to get collapsed on. Nice Nom comes out of PYL as a Voidless taking a lot of damage. Does manage to kill the Hecarim towards the end there. Not even sure how. I believe it might have been a stray end of the line. But Amy makes his way over as well. Without Amy could be dangerous as PYL flashes to escape the Nether Grasp.
Amy needs to watch out. He can't be taking out Vision alone, especially at half HP.
Yeah.
That's just disrespectful. He's come a long way. He doesn't need to go back and be making these inexperienced plays.
I'll teleport from Marin, but he's not going to be able to save this turret. IMA getting themselves to their biggest lead so far this game. It is barely over 2,000, but still noteworthy.
Yeah, but you have to be worried now. They lost their mid lane tower. If they were getting pressured and like pretty much walked in onto their jungle before, now it's pretty much IMA's.
Yeah. Here we are. Going to get hit by the W damage out of Jin Zhao. Punished, going to clear out this minion wave as best he can. Amazing J continuing to split around this map. Misses a cannon creep, but we will try not to harp on about that. Throws that wave into this inner turret top lane. Pings go out. It's going to be held there by the creep wave and give Marin some time to get up towards the top side of the map. There's Imp. Throws down the ultimate. He's got a lot of wave clear now, and we were looking at LGD, Punished. Short range, but a lot of wave clear there. Imp, with the Renan's Hurricane, is going to be eating up creep waves. We saw that. Living Artillery helping out there as well. So, good news.
See, that's going to be the key here because LGD, though they're falling behind, they have Ryze and Gnar, both with TP. Ryze picking up the TP instead of the Ghost, so he's going to be able to actually go for that split push whenever possible as the game goes on. He could even look to perhaps 1v1 Amazing J.
Yeah.
So, if it ever comes to that, IMA is definitely going to be at a difficult point because it looks like they don't have that response. Jinja has to be mid. Malzahar has to be mid, especially with Ryze picking up QSS.
Oh, Amazing J now as well. Just uses the Crimson Rush. Says Punished, what damage are you doing? I'm not taking any.
So IMA can take as much control, but if LGD takes control of these side waves, then they could just be at a good enough position to pretty much choke out IMA.
Well, it was what LGD were known for prior to this split. Side wave control, always their thing. They're going to have to dig back into the history books in order to lock that one down. But you can see now, the wave's pushing forward. Nard deals with the top lane. And that one is going to be pushing in to IMA.
It's going to be shoving straight back towards LGD. The issue is that he couldn't shove another wave to bounce that into the tower fully. Oh!
Headbutt locks it down. Road steals away the blue buff.
Yeah.
Punish didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, he couldn't shove it in simply because the Baron control that right now IMA is able to utilize, kind of push him in, it's pretty scary now.
Yeah.
Gnar has to now has to roam out because he doesn't have a wave to pretty much push on.
Well, this is really interesting. Imp's actually picked up the Hex Drinker as item number 3, so it doesn't even prioritize the QSS over that. relying on his tank line to stay in front.
He's actually shoving the entire responsibility onto Tom Kench to kind of help him out, to just swallow him whenever it happens. It's a bit much. I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of it, but we'll have to see. It really just does come down to the execution of these fights.
One thing I do love is the lifeline passive of the Maw of Malmortius, though, on Cogmore.
Yeah.
Pretty brilliant. If you can pop your W once you go down low enough to proc it, does mean that that lifesteal comes in extraordinarily handy when you're being that turret.
That's true. So Vladimir and Malzahar, they do quite a bit of burst. Malzahar with a little bit more. Actually, both champions do have a lot of sustained damage, but you're going up against Kog'Maw, Gnar, Ryze. I'm not too sure if they can deal with that.
In goes a Voidless as PWL gets Nether grasped up. There's the ultimate out of a Voidless to secure the kill. Probably would have gone down anyway, but can never be too careful. Now with the pick onto PWL, possibly looking for this Baron.
Yeah, now they can look for it. They had to watch out.
Yeah, Amy going to get stunned. There's the Hemo Plague down as well as Punish. Getting towards the back of this pit. Curtain Call comes in as Amazing J very, very low. Imp throwing down Living Artilleries, but can they get the right surround? As there's the Flash Pulverize. Imp gets knocked up as Punish uses the QSS. They want to get Imp in this fight, and he is going to fall down. Jin Zhao picks up that kill. Marin in the backline doing a lot of work. As there's the Zonya's Hourglass for Amazing J. Punish trying to fight this one out. Clears out some creeps, but there's Aime just circling around. Q comes in, but Punish will fall down. Tries to flash forward, try and get one kill, but doesn't find it for LGD. Imp still dead. Punish still dead. Marin has the TP, and now the teleport's coming in. Aime looking to lock down this Baron buff.
Yeah, if there is one weakness that I said Aime had, it was their vision control. They are definitely putting on the stranglehold.
Wow. PWL's getting in here. Got a bit of a pincer movement as Marin pokes his head round. Doesn't have that Gnar available. As you can see, the Voidling still keeping that Baron as aggroed as possible. But at least they do deny the big purple buff.
Yeah, Aime's really starting to get these picks. Now, sure, LGD shouldn't be in that position, but the fact that Aime's able to take advantage of that is definitely a good amount of growth from their last set.
Well, Ocean Drake is going to be the next dragon. Is available. Punish teleports for it. As Amy heads his way around, so they will be able to lock this one down. Even out that dragon count. And the first non-Cloud Drake going to be falling for LGD. A good move against the tempo of this game.
Yeah, they expended TP for that. I'm not too sure if I'm happy about it. They took away their play, or at least their strength in being able to go for those sidewave controls.
Yeah.
For it. So, I'm not a fan of it. But I guess it's a good denial from Aime.
Now Imp is going to kill a whole bunch of things. 30 CS in the lead, as he almost has that Maw of Malmortius done. QSS still not there. As LGD regain some position around this Baron. A Voidless does have to be careful. That Baron does real damage to the very squishy Graves.
Rhodes' positioning throughout that look, though, was great.
Oh, yeah.
So he's always looking to flank at any position. If LGD take one step forward too far, then he'll look for a headbutt pull, and it'll queue in for a team fight.
Well, Marin, he's going to make his way over to this Baron pit. Aime not going to be starting it up as PWL, trying to clear out this pink ward that's here. Marin now just going to utilize his wave clear, get rid of this mid. Amy going to respond. So PWL doesn't find the tongue lash. The Voidless continues to clear out vision.
LGD is getting shoved in quite a bit on the bot side of the map.
Oh, and the top. It's
a
big minion wave.
So they have to start answering for this. So Aime can actually just sit here for as long as they want. They have a good amount of Jin traps to cover on the entrances too. So as long as they continue to shove out mid, they should be at a great position.
Well, Road as well getting in there. This Baron down to about half health as Aime have started that one up. Tides of Blood comes in. The ward goes down. And the Voidless continues to take a lot of damage. Amazing J there as well. Actually going to go back to base. We'll see whether he can complete the Spirit Visage.
Yeah, they lost pressure there. They need to be a little bit more patient. Sure, Ryze was answering the top wave, but that bottom wave is still grouping up. It's not even anywhere near where it could be. So just about like 20 seconds. And definitely, look, Nara's picking it up. If they had not looked to start Baron there, they could have actually done it now.
Yeah. Well, more of Marmortius is completed for Imp. See what he goes for next. Blade of the Ruined King. Something with some lifesteal could be good, just considering the amount of consistent damage from Aime. And the fact that Imp has built so well against a lot of it, because it will be coming from the likes of Vlad and the Malzahar. He needs to be able to keep himself up in that health bar.
So this is the test. This is the test for Aime. They are a team that, yeah, they can get these leads. That's not the question. The question is now, can you keep it? Can you keep the lead, and can it amount to something?
Yeah.
Right now, they keep getting chunked out whenever they look for Baron. No, Alistar definitely has to go back, or at least just passively heal up. They're pretty much always putting a pause on their play, mostly because they're a little bit too impatient.
We were talking about this series. Both of these teams known for early aggression. LGD certainly haven't picked themselves into that. Aime still able to command it, but once again, it feels like now at 30 minutes, the game can still go either way. Only 2,000 gold the lead for Aime, but it means basically nothing given the scaling power of this LGD roster. Not to mention the comfort picks. Punished on the rise, a champion that he's very comfortable on. Marin's Nah needs no introduction. Amy on the Hecarim, who's extraordinarily strong. And Imp picks whatever he wants and honestly looks comfortable in everything. But Kog'Maw has been one of those legacy picks for him for a very long time.
Exactly. And so the question really just does come down to teamfight execution. Can Imp survive through and through? He is picking just to survive. He does have quite a bit of MR on him. So he needs to stay alive for these fights as they start up on Baron.
Yeah, but the ward is going to spot that one out. You can see LGD moving their way over, but the Baron down to about half health. Amy can Onslaught of Shadows his way in there as the Ghost has been popped. We'll see whether they can actually get it. Really good Pulverize, though. Locked down by the cow as Amy gets a decent ult towards the backline. Imp's doing a lot of damage. Jin Zhao takes down one as Imp's trying to get in there for the auto attacks. Meganar's going to be here from Marin, but Punish taking a lot of damage. Curtain Call going to come in as Marin gets the knock onto Bamey in the backline. Imp's going to be able to help lock down the kill as he's flashing. Amazing J taking the damage. Kog'Maw doing work. The lifeline comes in, but it's not enough as a Voidless will die to the Acathia. No!
Oh, what are you doing?
Jukes him in the brush. Disaster, but in the end, LGD came out a lot closer than we were expecting. However, Baron goes to Aime.
Oh, good lord, that
actually jumped.
Marin played that incredibly well. We're going to have to take a look at this. But yeah, Road, once again, on Alistar, able to just stop the entire LGD lineup from getting towards that Baron. And so now they were at a standstill. Jin is at a great placement, so LGD have to protect Imp. Protect Imp at all costs. Marin's getting held down, but you can't hold him down for long. Carries down Bamey, and Imp, just look at him. Pretty much.
Look at him kite this one around. That stun came in. It was really nice. And Voidless just has that AD to lock it down after the quick draw. Now, Imp does have the Blade of the Ruined King on the way. He did close to 7,000 damage in that last fight. Whoa.
Yeah, so that's the possibility. That's for like if the game gets any longer. If you have an Imp with Guardian Angel, with
if we get to 6 items on both of these teams, I have no doubt LGD can win.
So anything's possible, but we do have a TP coming in from LGD.
Yeah, Hemoplague is going to spell the disengage from LGD, but once that procs, we'll see whether LGD decide to go in. That Meganar in good position as Amy grabs himself the 3rd dragon. LGD now with 2 of these Ocean Drakes, which is a big deal. PWL wants to start off the fight as Marin will have that Meganar in exactly the right position. Really good headbutt. Gets him out of the fight as PWL already dead. Curtain Call comes in a good position as Bamey throws down the Nethergrasp. Amy not going to be able to get anything. And Marin still looking for it. Voidless gets out of the way of the Meganar as Marin does need to try and get out, but he's not going to be able to. Really good picks from Aime and good response to the engage out of LGD. Amazing J very far forward as he throws down the pool. Imp unable to get the damage. There's still a lot of damage on the side of LGD here, but they just can't move up to these turrets with this Baroned up minions moving in, and this could spell Inhibitor against LGD.
Yep. Give Road Alistar, give Road Bard any engage tool, and that's your ticket to any fight.
Yeah.
He just punted Marin away from the entire team. He saved his team that team fight.
Oh, look at this. The damage on the Nexus turrets is massive as the second one now under fire. Baron buff still there as PYL taking a lot. And IMA do not want to risk it. 9,000 gold now the lead for this team. Could be close to that insurmountable margin. But LGD have come out with miracles in the past. Whoa, comes down to this. Blade of the Ruin King done for Imp. 4 items. Raz, are we ready to start believing?
I don't know, man. That is still a scary, scary Alistar. Remember, a Kog'Maw's greatest enemy historically has always been that Alistar.
Yeah.
No, well, to be fair, most 80 carries. You don't want to go up against a positive Alistar who can just honestly walk at you, zone you away, doesn't even have to use his combo really to kind of take you out of a team fight. Whenever you look to commit, then he goes in. But Bro just honestly able to set things up for his team. So, and I like the fact that they backed away from this. They're showing that one trap. You can actually TP to a trap, by the way. That's a.
I think that's what we were looking for. Of course, Amazing J still has half of that cooldown to go. And there's a Nexus turret still there. So, I mean, Vladimir's pushing power, formidable as it might be. Probably not going to go 1v1 versus that tower. Yeah, but as I was saying, they have. I like the fact that they backed away from that Nexus because they're playing a lot more of a tempered game, a lot more patient. I mean, they made a little bit of a hiccup in terms of towards that Baron, but... Well, they're looking for this as Road actually flashes away. Amy does have the ultimate available as Imp, getting some damage across. But Amy still with that shield. We need Living Artillery to land on him to break that if they want to engage onto this Malzahar. Marin building that Narbar will have it very, very soon. And the Mega Gnar is available. LGD...
Oh, look
feels like one of these next team fights will be the one to change the fate of this game. It's Amazing J poking his head in. There's the Rune Prison. Takes a bit of damage. Does have to be relatively careful. As there's the Hemo Plague. They're both punished, and Amy. Curtain Call comes in there as well as PWL going to eat up his jungler. Kicks him out. PWL gets himself out of the way as well. Flash has to be expended though, and LGD taking a lot of damage. And look at the Super Creeps now knocking on that one single Nexus turret that they have available. Inner turret easily gets taken down as this Nexus turret may actually fall. Imp does grab himself at least the aggro onto it and saves it for now, but look at this inhibitor turret falling down so low. LGD clear out the minion wave, but that is some big damage, and I may only need one more wave to carry that through.
Yeah, I may have definitely been playing a lot more patient with their lead now. They know that the super minions can just do the work.
Yeah.
As they hit the Nexus turrets, then they start to move forward. Because otherwise, if they were even just a little bit impatient, Marin was in just waiting for that flank. He is always just about to hit his Mega Gnar. His Narbar control is actually incredible. Most Gnar players can't really hit that balance, but...
Well, there's the ultimate. They actually go in on Amazing J, who just pulls that one up. PYL pulls out his mid laner as Imp, able to get himself into a turret position. But Amazing J uses the dash cannon, uses the Zhonya's, and keeps himself safe. Marin with the wallop. Does crush himself out as Bamey still has the passive. Imp getting the auto attacks and he gets stunned up. PWL eats him out of it. That is definitely good, but Imei still pushing forward. This inhibitor under fire. Curtain Call comes in one more time. Imp tagged as Amy has to stand in front of him. Marin needs to get back to the fountain. And LGD on the ropes in game number 1 against Imei. And these minions still crashing forward. They back away. This one Nexus turret is going to be in trouble, but I think that LGD are still going to be able to lock this one up. Save that turret from fire.
Hey, man, we saw EDG come back from a 3 inhib deficit, so anything's possible, but...
Not with a pick like that. PYL just caught in his own jungle, thought that Imei had backed, but they had not. Baron now up, and Imei with a big opportunity. 30 seconds until PYL's there. No ultimate up. Won't be able to get that one done, and they've got a lot of damage for this Baron. Imp and Amy all the way back in base. This could be the last nail in the coffin. Super Baroned up creeps from 2 lanes, and Imei with a gigantic gold lead of 11,000.
Yeah, they're playing a textbook game of League. Most teams would actually just see the HP on that Nexus turret, and they would just walk in, brute force it.
Yeah.
But they know they're ahead. They don't have to rush anything. They take the Baron, and they're heading right back to pretty much look for the next fight. Hell, they don't even have to go for a fight. Inhib is up on the LGD inhib is up mid lane, and the tower is still available bot side. So they can actually just, if they really wanted to, they could just head for the next few.
Yeah, play the long, drawn-out game.
Yeah.
You see LGD have actually ventured out of their base. Amy was up towards the top side, clearing out that super minion wave. POL gets slowed. There's Amazing J getting over the top. Punished, taking a fair bit of damage, but Amazing J as well. Sacrificing his health bar. Marin with that Narbar building. Finds the boomerang, does get the passive out of Bamey, but he's building that Narbar one more time. Gets silenced as he flashes over the wall. And Marin does have to be very careful. Curtain Call comes through. The first one flies as Amy tanks up the next. Punished, staying out of vision range, dodging his invisible bullets. It's a big cooldown, but now Aime with the inside track onto this inhibitor turret. Abyssal Voyage will get 2 in there as Punished does get his way around. Mini-Gnar back up for Marin. 3 inhibitors now exposed. The last Nexus turret is going to fall down. Not going to get stunned up just yet, but LGD have to convincingly win this fight. Imp in a good position in the backline as Punished tries to turn around. Amy's going to fall as Imp gets exhausted, and his Nexus is now taking all of the damage. You can see Aime all together, and Imp just can't get enough done. Triple kill for a Voidless. This guy has gone off at 0 deaths this game, and Aime solidly take game 1 against LGD.
Great look for Aime. They are a team that you question their mid game, and they were able to just kind of destroy LGD off of it.
Yeah.
So that was really good. A lot of good work from them. Something, of course, you got to question about LGD was you look for that draft. That's kind of a little questionable.
A little
bit.
They had Vladimir and Malzahar.
I mean, I'm not too afraid of that. I'm just, it's more towards the fact that if you're going up against that, you have a little bit too much late game insurance, not enough early game kind of power. And
yeah. Just a little bit of a dangerous situation. You saw there were some shining lights, I guess, from LGD, but they just never found the team fights they were looking for. And Imp just couldn't get himself into that safe spot to clean up. And Aime, honestly, just very impressive with their mid-game, I guess, team fighting and skirmishes.
It really did come down to that. It comes down to team fight execution at that point. Imp pretty much needs to survive, needs to put down as much damage as possible. Road recognizes that. So he's body blocking, and he's able to pretty much create as much time for his team to deal with Marin. Because Marin actually played it incredibly well around his Narbar. They needed to basically deal with him as fast as possible. As you see, he goes in, but every time he looks to initially go in, he either gets punted out by the Alistair or immediately Malzahar ultied by Bamey. And so Bamey and Road did a great job in pretty much nullifying the pressure you could see from Gnar. But man, I like to see this pressure from LGD though.
Yeah, and a Voidless was just so incredibly powerful on this Graves at the same time. Wouldn't be surprised if he picked himself up an MVP for that as well. We have seen Ryze sort of fall off in popularity just a little, but my god, that early and late game damage that he was able to put through from that jungle position was terrifying for this team.
Yeah. So it really just comes down to the fact that both teams actually, this was a pretty good game. It was a slower game than I expected, but both teams took it to each other. You saw great showing from pretty much all champions involved. So I just want to see how the draft comes together for LGD for the next game.
Yeah, exactly right. They are going to be on blue side for that next game. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to throw to a short break. When we get back, we'll see whether they can get some revenge against the powered up Aime.